الحمد لله نحمده ونشكره ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبد الله ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدى هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار أما بعد. My brothers and sisters indeed, I enjoin upon you and upon myself the fear of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Inshallah, what we will be focusing on into the khutbah, is in today's sermon, is one of the verses of the glorious Quran, that is precisely verse 77 of Surah 28, that is Surah Al-Qasas. In that noble verse of the Quran, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is saying, وَابْتَغِ فِي مَا آتَاكَ اللَّهُ الدَّارَ الْآخِرَةَ وَلَا تَنْسَ نَصِيبَكَ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا وَأَحْسِنْ كَمَا أَحْسَنَ اللَّهُ إِلَيْكَ وَلَا تَبْغِ الْفَسَادَ فِي الْأَرْضِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبُّ الْمُفْسِدِينَ. Allah the Exalted, in this noble verse of the Quran, is giving us a very important lesson. Lesson that will save us in this life and also in the hereafter. Lesson that when we abide by, we will have a good world and will have the best, of life in the life after this world. So in this noble verse of the Quran, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is saying, وَابْتَغِ فِي مَا آتَاكَ اللَّهُ الدَّارَ الْآخِرَةَ. Seek with whatever Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala have given to you, Dar al-Akhirah, the hereafter. That is, you seek, that is, search with whatever Allah has given to you. That is, utilize whatever Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala have given you to get, the best life in the hereafter. And how do you do that? That is by living a submissive life to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala in this life. That is by being obedient to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, by following Allah's injunction, following His teachings, doing whatever He commands you to do, and abstaining from things He warns against. So with that, you build your hereafter. With that, you live a righteous life. With that, you live, a life that will be of benefit to you in this life and in the hereafter. There's something we must fundamentally understand. Any life you live in this world, if it cannot give you the best in the hereafter, then it cannot give you a good life in this world. I know some of us may not understand, because we have wrong notion of what a good life is. Today, everyone is complaining. This challenge or the other. Just because of the situation we have, or the state we are in this world, is by people not using what Allah have given them to seek the hereafter. Because using what Allah have given you to seek the hereafter, as we say, is living a submissive life to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. If you live a submissive life to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, you will abstain from things He warned against, and you will do whatever He commands you to do. Take for instance, today, hatred has spread all over the world. We hate one another. One tribe hates the other tribe. One tribe feels his own problem is from the other tribe. One group feels their problem is from this group. Everybody is looking for who to blame. Everybody feels he's an angel and others are devil. Why? Because we've refused to obey Allah. If you are submissive to Allah, you obey Allah. What Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala commands you to do, what Allah encourages you to do, what He preaches, is what? Loving one another. For example, any good Muslim who wants to enter the Jannah, one of the things you need to enter the Jannah is for you to love your brothers. That's why the Prophet clearly, without any ambiguity, said to us in a hadith that لا تدخلوا الجنة. He said you cannot enter the paradise حتى تؤمنوا, until you believe. So if you claim to be a believer, then listen to one of the most manifest sign of believer. Then he said, وَلَا تُؤْمِنُوا. You cannot be believers. He said, وَلَا تُؤْمِنُوا. You cannot be believers حَتَّى تَحَابُّوا. Until you what? Love one another. So if you will use the opportunity given to you by Allah, you will love your brother. And when you love your brother, you will avoid harming your brother. Oh, today we complain of insecurity. Maybe somebody kidnapping somebody, somebody robbing somebody. Yes, these are things prohibited by Allah. There's one thing we must understand. If Allah asks you to avoid anything that harm others, He is also at the same time protecting you from others. The way He asks you not to do that because of its harm to others, He also commanded those ones too to avoid that, to avoid harming you. So it's, you are being protected, and you are being protected from other people's evil. Other people are also being protected from your own evil. You are being commanded to do good to others, then also others are being commanded to do good to you. So no one is the only one being protected, and no one is the only one being what? Favored. Everybody is favored. Everybody is protected. Take for instance, even in terms of wealth, the rich man is protected from the evil of the poor man, and the poor man is protected from the evil of the rich man. Oh, the poor man is being, the rich man is being encouraged to what? To be nice to the poor man. And the poor man is also encouraged or guided or, advised to be what? Enjoying, to be appreciative to the rich man when he does good to you. Yes, when he does good to you, it makes you happy. And when you appreciate the good he does to you, it makes him happy. So Allah went as far as saying, "Man lam yashkur an-nasa, la yashkur Allah." The one who never show appreciation to people never appreciates who? Allah. The old, the young are protected from harm from the older ones. And the older ones are also protected from what? From the harm of the younger ones. The Prophet said to us in a hadith, "Man lam yuwaqqir kabirana wa lam yarham saghirana falaysa minna." He said, the one who does not respect our elders, and the elder who does not show mercy to what? The younger ones, he said, he's not part of us. So Islam encourages the older ones, to be merciful to the younger ones, and Islam commanded the younger ones to be what? Respectful to the older ones. Now, somewhere the men are commanded to protect the women, and the women are commanded to be what? Obedient to whether as the man as a father or as a husband. So everyone has something he gives to the other based on the guidance of Allah Ta'ala. So there's something you gain from me and there's something I gain from you. And that is what you benefit from obedience to Allah Ta'ala. So obedience to Allah is not about you giving Allah anything. He doesn't need you. You are not the one who made him God. You did not make him Allah. He is Allah before you came into existence. And he has not added anything to that after you came into existence. And your absence will not reduce anything from him. What he is or what he was before your coming into existence, that's what he still is when you are existing, and that's what he will remain after your own existence. So your existence or lack of existence does not have anything to do with his own rank. That's why you believe in him, you don't believe in him, that doesn't change anything. He still owns everything. It's just like you. Where I used to tell us sometimes, where you think you have power is where he allowed you to exercise the power. That means he's the one who has the power, because he is the one who allowed you to exercise that power. A day will come, if he likes, he withdraws that power, and there's nothing you can do. No one can do anything. Yes, you can walk. The day he wants, he paralyzes you, and you can't go anywhere. You have to be carried. So we must understand that yes, whatever, when we say whatever Allah have given you, we shouldn't make mistake that we are talking about those who have money alone. Like I do remind us, everybody is rich and everybody is poor. You have something, you lack something. And anything useful is wealth. They say health is what? Wealth. So if you are healthy, is a wealth. If you have power, is a wealth. If you have knowledge, is a wealth. If you have money, is a wealth. You have physical strength, is a wealth. Because you can use it to achieve something. You can use it to make money, if you like. For example, somebody who is physically strong, he can use that physical strength to make money. Just the way your experience, you can use it to make money. So you can use what you have to get what you want. And Allah did not give anybody everything, as we say. The reason is this, so that you will need me and I will need you. I am not wanting you, you are not wanting me. I want us to understand this logic. There is a difference between want and need. Need is something that, yes, I can't do without it. But want is something that, yes, even if it is there, you can still survive. If there is no food, you can't survive. If there is no air, oxygen, you can't survive. They are needs. They are things you can do without. Yes, if you have food, maybe one particular type of food you don't have it. It's not a need, it's a want. So long as you have access to food, you can still survive. Oh, water, yes. If you have borehole in your house that does not contain salt or other serious, harmful things, even if there is no bottled water, pure water, you can survive. But bottled water and some of those waters are needs. They are wants, not needs. Because some people are surviving elsewhere without those things, and they are still also as healthy as you are. So take for instance, like in our country, the Yorubas need the Hausas. The Hausas need the Yorubas. The Igbos need the Hausa, they need the Yoruba. And the Yoruba needs the Igbo, the Hausas need the Igbo. We need ourselves. I need you, you need me. My absence will cost you something. Your absence will also cost me something. So in essence, we have what? We need ourselves. That's why Allah did not give any region everything. He gave every region control of certain things so that you need yourself. Yes, the situation we find ourselves is what? Those things Allah have given us. Instead of utilizing them to seek the hereafter, we begin to focus more on what? Those items. Take for instance, if your goal becomes money, you've wasted your life. That means your life is worthless. Because after accumulating the money, you will die and some people will take over the money. But you are going to account for every penny you save or you gather. Because Allah will ask us, He said there will be asked, there will be questioned pertaining to whatever blessing that they've been what? Given. If money becomes your goal, you have limited time to enjoy that money. After that, it goes to another person's hand. So nobody owns anything permanently. Anything you have access to is temporal. It's temporal. Because the world itself, you're living in the world, is temporal. And that's why whatever you have, your connection, as we keep reminding ourselves with those things, is that a day will come. Don't waste your time and pray for one not to happen, for the two not to happen. You can pray for the one you want to choose, but there's no amount of prayer you will do to cancel the whole two. And the point is this: don't pray for you and your wealth not to be separated. Whether you like it or not, you and your wealth will be separated. Is Allah either separates you by taking it from you before you die, or He separates you from your wealth by taking your life while the wealth is still there. Any prayer the prayer you have to do is to choose one, but you cannot miss one. It's either you want to remain rich till the day you die, that's okay. Or you want the money to go before you go. It's your choice. Maybe you ask for that, He may decide to accept it for you. But don't pray that you must have your money forever. You are not going to use naira in the hereafter. You are not going to use dollar in the hereafter. So there is limit to when you need the dollar or when you need the naira. So when your time comes, you will leave it for those who need it. You don't have option. Anything, whether poor, whether children, whether women, whether men, anything is temporal. Your husband today, tomorrow can be another lady's husband. Your wife today can be another man's wife tomorrow. So nothing is permanent. We used to say things, but we say them, but we're not conscious of them. We usually say no condition is what? Is permanent. So Allah says, وَابْتَغِ فِيمَا أَتَاكَ اللَّهُ الدَّارَ الْآخِرَةَ وَتَنْسَ نَصِيبَكَ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا. They say, but still though you will work for your hereafter, then they say, do not forget your share in this life. Yes, whatever Allah have given you, you work for your hereafter, but yes, the kind of good food you need to give yourself to live a healthy life, no problem, don't deprive yourself. It's also part of what Allah commanded. The decent place to live, no problem. Decent clothes to wear, no problem. Within your means. وَلَا تَنْسَ نَصِيبَكَ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا. The kind of good car you want to drive, no problem. لَا تَنْسَ نَصِيبَكَ مِنَ الدُّنْيا. قُلْ مَنْ حَرَّمَ زِينَةَ اللَّهِ الَّتِي أَخْرَجَ لِعِبَادِهِ وَالطَّيِّبَاتِ مِنَ الرِّزْقِ قُلْ هِيَ لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا خَالِصَةً يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. So you don't deprive yourself worldly good when you have the means. No problem. It's also part of what Allah commanded. They say, وَأَحْسِن, then be good, كَمَا أَحْسَنَ اللَّهُ إِلَيْكَ. The way Allah is what? Being good to you. Today let's ask ourselves, Allah bless us, but what do most of us do with the blessing Allah have given us? We harm others with those blessings. Allah commanded you that وَأَحْسِن, be good. To who? To other servants of Allah, to other creatures of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. The way your own creator, that is Allah, and their creator what? Was good to you. وَأَحْسِنْ كَمَا أَحْسَنَ اللَّهُ إِلَيْكَ. Be good the way Allah was good to you, was good to you. As a Muslim, we are commanded, even animals, be kind to them. Islam taught you that even harming animals can lead you to hell. Today, human beings have become even more useless than animals to some of us. Yeah. Some of us even value the life of chicken, value the life of some animals, value the lives of dogs more than the lives of even our fellow human beings. An animal that is halal for you to eat, Islam commanded you when you want to slaughter it, be merciful to it. Sharpen your knife. Give it, soft slaughter. You need to be kind to an animal. What more of your fellow human being? Today your human being has become a commodity. You catch him, use it for ransom. You catch and sell. Yeah, you sell because that is you fix the price. If you will follow this injunction of Allah wa ta'ala as a Muslim, what you're supposed to have been doing is looking for those in need for you to help them. If it is wealth Allah have given you, help those who don't have. Allah give you power, help those looking for opportunities for them to get whatever they need within your means. Those for job, those for this thing. أحسن كما أحسن الله إليك. My brothers and sisters, indeed, we need to be conscious of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. أقول ما تسمعون وأستغفر الله العظيم الجليل لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين من كل ذنب وخطأ غفور رحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. أما بعد عباد الله أوصيكم ونفسي بتقوى الله عز وجل. My brothers and sisters, indeed, as we see Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is telling us in this noble verse of the Quran that we should be good the way Allah has been good to us. أحسن كما أحسن الله إليك. If we are to apply this, why would we be in the state we are in today? Why would we be in this state? It's like I do say, everybody feels someone else is responsible. You yourself look inward. You will discover that the situation we are in, like I keep reminding us, most of the problem come from our behavior, come from our attitude. And it has nothing to do with any particular group. Sometimes, like I said, the youth may think their problem is the elders. And the elders feel the problem is what? The youth. Those in power feel the problem is from those under them. And those we under them feel the problem is our leaders. The fact remains this. All of us are responsible in our own little way. And until we begin to change, the day you will want to be good to your fellow human being, the way Allah is being good to you. The way as a neighbor, you will sit in your house and you care about the future or the happiness of your neighbor. Today you meet somebody on the road, you just hate the person. Just like that. They ask you why, you can't even explain. You've never jammed the person at all. At all. Sometimes you will see somebody, you will hate him because he looked like one particular tribe. You hate him because of that tribe, and he is not that tribe. He is not. There's a situation whereby some of us can, like now, sometimes you can't even differentiate one tribe from another again, most especially those of us who doesn't have marks. You will see a Yoruba man, you will hate him thinking he's a Hausa man. He's a Yoruba man, but he dressed like a Hausa man. You will see a Hausa man, you will hate him because you think he's a Yoruba man, because he dressed like a Yoruba man. Maybe when somebody is in the north now, he wears Ankara, maybe the person will be thinking he's seeing a Yoruba man, while he is looking at his own brother. You hate your fellow Igbo man because he wears maybe cap and then kaftan and other things. You don't know he's a Muslim, so he's picking all kind of dressing. He wears his jalabiya, maybe he wears his taban or whatever. We need to be good to ourselves. And there's one fundamental rule of life. Let us take note of this. You can never grow if you don't allow others to grow. Let us take note of this. Like in Nigeria, every tribe is crying. The way they are saying things are difficult in the south, go to the north, that is the same way people in the north are complaining. The north are suffering, the northerners are suffering, the southerners are suffering. Nobody is enjoying. No security in the south and no security in the north. Forget about who is in power. Because there are, like I said, there are certain rules in life. You as a human being can make your move, but the move ends according to Allah's approval. And I stand to face anyone who will tell me it doesn't go that way. Whether as a Muslim or at least as a Christian. Yes, you can make your move. The person who has final say is Allah. You can work on bringing someone down, but that move, Allah will use it to elevate him. Your move is to get him down, but the person who has final say is Allah. You have one example. In the Quran, you have Prophet Yusuf. In Bible, you have Joseph. Interpret it in whichever way you want. Yes, all those, his brothers, their effort was what? To bring him down. What you are doing to move the person down, because Allah says Allah's way of operation is different from our own. He can use anything to achieve anything. He can destroy you with money, and he can destroy you with poverty. He can elevate you with money, and he can elevate you with poverty. He can use children to destroy you, and he can use children to elevate you. He can use power to elevate you. He can use power to bring you down. Nothing he can use as a weapon, because he decides the law. He decides how things operate. So you have to go by a system. He designed the system. He decides how things go. But you, some areas you don't have power. You want to do something, you have to go according to a particular way. If you go contrary to that way, it won't work. Because some of those ways are natural rule, natural law. You break the natural law, you don't get your expected result. But that natural law, who puts the law is Allah. So he can alter it. You can alter it. An attempt to alter it, you may create one problem for yourself that you cannot even stop. But he can decide, he can alter it, and before altering it, he knows the consequence. You can alter it, you can only know the consequence after altering it. So you can prevent the consequence. He can alter it and will also decide that the consequence shouldn't happen. Because he is in charge. إذا قضى أمرا فإنما يقول له إيش كن فيكون. If he lies, he can take the life of a driver driving, and at the same time he have decided that nobody except that driver that will die inside the vehicle. That's his decision, and that's how it will go. You can take you may be targeting the driver. Yes, you kill the driver, then the vehicle will go to a direction that you don't control. But he will direct the vehicle to go to where he wants. That's the difference between you and him. You are not fully in charge of anything, but he's 100%, 100, if you like 101% in control of everything. That's the difference between you and him. My brothers and sisters indeed. So let us submit ourselves to Allah. Be good the way He is good to you. Then He gave us a warning. He said, وَلَا تَبْغِي الْفَسَادَ فِي الْأَرْضِ. Do not seek corruption. Do not seek evil. Do not seek mischief on the earth. That is, don't do things that will create pain for Allah's creatures in this life. وَلَا تَبْغِي الْفَسَادَ فِي الْأَرْضِ. Avoid things prohibited by Allah. Things prohibited by Allah are things that will harm you. He is not prohibiting you from doing things for His own personal gain. He owns the world, so He knows what will make the world better. Follow it, you rest. Disobey it, you suffer. And that's what we are facing. He asked us to do justice. Refuse to do justice. Put any law. It doesn't change anything. Refuse justice. Put any law. It won't stop anything. Now take for instance, the law for kidnapping. The penalty for kidnapping before was lesser than the current penalty. You know what? Current penalty. That's your own human design. You have one. You said you want to stop what? The kidnapping. You want jacked up the penalty. But the kidnapping still is on what? On the rise. Because you as a human being, there are some things you need to check. You will not know. Sometimes, some situations you won't know until you test them. Allah doesn't need to test them before He knows how it will work. And that's why anywhere you see Allah's rule being properly implemented, there is going to be peace there. If you see a Muslim living a good Muslim life, he will be the best neighbor to a Muslim and best neighbor to a Christian and best neighbor to an idol worshipper. Because as a Muslim, Allah have taught you that your neighbor as a Muslim, your neighbor as an idol worshipper, your neighbor as a Christian have rights over you. Because He who created the world have told you in the Quran that the world is not meant for you only, that is you the Muslim. He said to you in the Quran, هُوَ الَّذِي خَلَقَكُمْ. He created you. Then He said to you, فَمِنْكُمْ كَافِرٌ وَمِنْكُمْ مُؤْمِنٌ. Amongst you, there are believers, there are unbelievers. So that don't think you are the only one who is going to live in the world. So He designed your lifestyle for you to be able to accommodate all. But today you think you are smart. You drop His rule, then you see the consequence. May Allah Ta'ala make us love one another. Say, وَلَا تَبْغِ الْفَسَادَ فِي الْأَرْضِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ Certainly Allah لَا يُحِبُّ الْمُفْسِدِينَ. He does not like those who commit mischief, who commit evil, who perpetrate corruption. May Allah Ta'ala save us from those who will get involved in that. And my brothers and sisters, indeed, let us go back to Allah Ta'ala. It's not too late. At any moment you come back to Allah, Allah will accept you. It's not late. We can change our state. Let each individual love others around him. Even a bad person, love a bad person. You don't hate somebody because of his body. It is his action you dislike. So it is that action you fight, not him as a person. You don't need to fight somebody as an Igbo man, or fight somebody because he's a Fulani man, or fight somebody because he's a Yoruba man, or fight somebody because he's what? He's a Hausa man. What is wrong in his tribe? You don't fight somebody because he's tall or because he's short. You don't fight somebody because he's a man or because he's a woman. You don't fight somebody because he's a child or because he's an adult. It is the bad act you fight. You fight crime, but you don't fight the individual. You attack issues, but you don't attack people. But in our own case, we attack people and we avoid issues. That's our problem. And that's why our things are not working. We need to attack issues, not people. Because there's nothing you can do to remove those people. But there's something you can do to remove what? The issues. So if you refuse to focus on the one you have influence, then the one you don't have influence on, you face it, it will wreck you. Yeah. Everybody has his what we call sphere of influence and sphere of what? Concern. Yes, you feel concerned about everything. But your influence have limits. So focus on the area you have influence. Don't bother yourself with what you don't have influence on. You don't have influence in determining the number of people that will be on the earth. You don't have influence in determining the number of tribes that will live in any particular country. The day Allah wants to change the demography, He changes it, and nothing anyone can do. Yes, some time back, a black man will not think to be the president of the United States of America. Some time back, a black man will not think to be of becoming the president of South Africa. Things are changing. So Nigeria will also continue to change based on the decision of the owner of Nigeria or the owner of all the earth. And that is Allah Ta'ala. So don't waste your time on what you don't have control over. Everybody can keep working on who becomes the president, but the final say is in whose hand? is in Allah's hand. He has shown us so many examples. He has taken somebody from that seat while the person is alive. So the one you don't think takes over. Go to Kogi State. Yes, somebody won election, the one who did not campaign for the election got the seat. Yes. He wasn't the one voted for, but he became who? The governor. قُلِ اللَّهُمَّ مَالِكَ الْمُلْكِ تُؤْتِي الْمُلْكَ مَنْ تَشَاءُ وَتَنْزِعُ الْمُلْكَ مِمَّنْ تَشَاءُ تُعِزُّ مَنْ تَشَاءُ تُذِلُّ مَنْ تَشَاءُ بِيَدِكَ الْخَيْرُ. Everything is in his hand, so don't trouble yourself. Do your best and leave his own role to him. Let us love one another, work for justice, work for betterment of any environment you come, anywhere you get to. Your effort should be how that place can be better with your presence, not bringing harm to that place. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا لا تدع لنا مقامنا هذا ذنبا إلا غفرته ولا هما إلا فرجته ولا كربا إلا نفسته ولا دينا إلا قضيته ولا عسيرا إلا يسرته ولا عدوا إلا خذلته ولا مبتلا إلا عافيته. اللهم اصلح أئمتنا ولاة أمورنا، اللهم اصلح أئمتنا ولاة أمورنا واجعلهم في من خافك واتقاك يا رب العالمين. عباد الله إن الله يأمر بالإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي لعلكم تذكرون الله يذكركم واشكروه على آلائه ونعمه ويذكركم وتذكرون الله ويذكركم الله.